I just believe in the process, and we're going to win going through the process.
Now, Bills Mafia, it's time for the main event. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome, Bills Mafia, to another episode of the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast, Bills news with the UK twist. I'm joined again by Alex. He's back. We've missed him. Well, maybe. And I'm Matt, obviously. Alex, how are you feeling? How you been?
I'm glad to be back. I've missed some things. I'm a little upset about it, but things happen in life, and that's where we are. But here's where we are today, getting ready for the Bills versus a Division III college team.
Well, Division III college team, they've got winning record at the moment, haven't they?
No, they're 1-2.
They 1-2. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Well, they won a game. It's more than you say about the Jets.
Well, Tyrod won a game. I mean, I'm not going to give any credit to this whoever Mills led Texans offense. I just found out that their coach was our old QB coach. Is it? Yeah.
QB coach, and he was the wide receiver coach at Baltimore, assistant head coach, and then he got chosen ahead of Leslie Frazier and Brian Dable, mainly Leslie Frazier. So
if I was any one of those guys, I would have said no anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire franchise right now.
What I want to do before we go into it, I want to ask you a question which I put out on Twitter last week, and I tried to answer last week myself when we did the review show. We know the Chiefs are now 1-2. The Bucs lost to the Rams in an interesting meeting. Do you think that with the results of the last couple of weeks and what the Chiefs are going through at the moment, that the Bills and what we did against a poorish Washington team and a poorish Dolphins team could challenge the Chiefs and the Bucs this season?
I think the Rams are the best team in the league. So them beating Tampa Bay isn't demoralizing for Tampa Bay. They're still a very good football team. What's going on in Kansas City is a little bit of an anomaly. Their defense has taken a step back. They really had to retool a lot of pieces on their team. So I think we have a better shot, and we'll see very soon to beat Kansas City. I'm not, that rah-rah optimistic Bills fan. I've hated watching them the week 1, week 2. Week 3, I sat back because I knew we were going to handle it. If I was on the review show, I would have said, yeah, that's about what I expected. And then the show would be over. It would have been a 10-second video. But yeah, to beat Kansas City, still, I mean, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, we couldn't beat them last year. Twice we tried.
Blueprints are now in from obviously the Bucs. The Chargers, what they did, and also the Ravens on how to slow it down. And I don't know what the injury status is with Tyreek Hill. So it was apparently came out injured or something in the Chargers game. So that's them down a weapon, and they only have then, if he's out or if he's missing this week, they only have Kelsey and whoever their backup number 2 is.
It's one of those things where, like, if this happens and this happens, then this should happen, right? I think we could beat the Chargers, hence to their 4th, or how we should beat the Chiefs, right? It's just really tough for me to be able to say that confidently.
Well, that's fair enough.
One of those things where, the narrative around the Bills over the last 2 weeks has been, if you can have 2020 Josh with 2019 defense, you're the best team in the league, right?
Yeah.
I think saw that last week, right?
Yeah. I think 94% when I put it on Twitter, 94% said yes. And what you said, we combine 2019 defense, 2020 Josh Allen. This leads into what Adam Schlien actually said on NFL.com, that the Bills could be the most complete team in the AFC. I mean, you're looking at what Josh Allen did and the stats he's got. He's what, 16-1 minus the Hail Murray,
Yeah.
where the Bills have scored over 30 points in a game.
Mhm.
There's obviously he's come back and done what he's done against the football team, and this defense has just gone from strength to strength, strength to strength every game.
Yeah.
And you've got the coaching staff and the continuity still there after 4 seasons. So, do you kind of agree and see that we are on the way to being that complete team that can challenge the Chiefs in week 5 on Monday Night Football and actually build some sort of buffer, let's put it that way, buffer to the Chiefs in the race for the number 1 spot?
Let's play a good team first. We've played 3 bad teams. We got unlucky in week 1 because week 1 is weird. Miami is an absolute, tire fire of a team right now. They challenged what some might say is right now the hottest team in the Raiders. They sorted things out. Watching Brissett at the end of the game versus us in the beginning of that game, he kind of sort of just figured it out, but their defense isn't as what everybody thought it was going to be. Washington has a nice front. The rest of their defense isn't very good. Their offense, very much nothing there. McLaurin, you take him away, you can have everything pretty much sorted. I'm very happy with our run defense, but we haven't played anybody yet. These next 2 weeks after Houston is the big challenge. It's the Chiefs and the Titans. The Titans maybe aren't who we thought they were anymore. I mean, their defense is very beatable. The passing game isn't really on fire, with the addition of Julio, but
yeah,
I'm really reserving how I feel about the Bills until after the bye week. Because even then after the bye week, it is soft. Miami, Jacksonville, the Jets, the Colts, the Saints, the Patriots. We don't have a challenge until the Bucks. This might be a team that looks really good all year. And then once they get to the playoffs, they're going to be like, oh, this is what football is really supposed to be like. This is an easy schedule. And it's on the coaching staff. It's on the coaching staff to keep them ready every single week. Like anything can happen in the league, in any sport. Hell, Arsenal just beat Tottenham and it looked really easy. And Arsenal sucks.
But Tottenham suck even more, mate.
Yeah, I know, but whenever Arsenal has to play a big game, they always blow it.
Okay, put it this way. A team from Moldova beat Real Madrid 2-1 at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That's how bad.
Yeah. Well, that's how crazy sports can be.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, obviously we had the third easiest schedule.
Well, let me ask you that question again. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had this thought. Let me ask you, what makes you think we can beat Kansas City?
The improvement we made on this defense.
But we haven't played a good offense.
Hey, but
we haven't been challenged.
Yeah, but last year when we played the Chiefs twice, we didn't have a pass rush per se. We didn't have Star in the middle. The only thing I'm worried about on this defensive side will be that cornerback number 2 spot, because we know that's been our weakness against the Chiefs the last two games. You got White locking up Trey White, High Hill, but you got the other, whether it be Watkins. In this case, it's probably going to be Hardman, and I don't know who the other one is.
Their number 2 target is Kelsey, though.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I mean, their offense runs through Hill and Kelsey. And why are we doing a Kansas City Chiefs preview show right now?
I know, but I'm just saying the fact I'm more confident is because we've got Star back. We didn't have him. We were playing obviously Butler, Zimmer, all that in the one tech.
Yeah,
and they don't have the same pulling power as Star. But
so about the pass rush, week 2 destroyed Miami. Week 3. Was it Heineke just getting out of the pocket, or were we just not really getting pressure? It didn't feel like we were getting pressure.
I think it was more Heineke. I
Yeah.
think he channeled his inner Josh Allen that actually.
Well, that's Mahomes though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
he's very agile in the in back there.
yeah.
Guys like
So,
him, Russell Wilson, but we really got to Russell last year. It's just one of those things where the littlest things can change things.
exactly.
I'm not gonna be like Super Bowl until we beat a good team, and that's gonna be when we play Kansas City.
So let's talk about the next team on the piss poor leg of the schedule, and the Houston Texans.
I love their
24th.
coach saying we're gonna go up there and kick their ass, bro.
Hey, what was it? The cornerback. Who was the cornerback? What's his name? Talking about Josh Allen, trying to
Yeah,
disrespect Josh Allen.
yeah, yeah.
And all
Okay,
that.
so I read the quote and then I went and watched the video. The full quote from the presser is way more respectful than the little snippet that was cut out. So he said, we've watched tape. He's very dangerous. He moves around in the pocket. And if it collapses, then he runs. So it never was like Josh Allen's a running quarterback. They didn't call him Lamar Jackson. They said, he could do anything and everything. They have weapons. It's going to be a challenge. And the tone that he had was like they already lost. He sounded scared to play us. And that's really exciting for me.
No, exactly. I mean, let's just look at the Houston stats. At 24th overall offense, 23rd overall defense, 24th in passing, 22nd in rushing.
Well, it all starts with this spread. That's usually where you get a good idea how this game is going to go. Because people who make money on these games, they're really precise about stuff like this. We're favored by far the biggest opening line of the year so far at 16.5, and now it's up to 17. Looking at all like their specific stats on Pro Football Reference, it's just this team without Tyrod is trash. I mean, it's deceiving, some of it, because 5.2 yards per play. That's just 0.1 less than Buffalo, because we had a bad week one. They had a monster week one, and that's kind of what's balancing out these numbers. 11.8 yards per completion, better than our 10.1. They have a league best 3.1 turnover percentage, so they protect the ball. They're 21st in scoring drive percentage, so they don't score often. But like I said, those numbers are skewed from Tyrod. I have specific numbers on Davis Mills. David Davis, have a weirder name, Davis. That's a last name. He's average, as average can be. There's nothing more average than Davis Mills. 58% completion percentage, a very low 5.8 yards gained per pass attempt. He likes to get hit. 9.8% sack percentage, which is sixth worst in the NFL. They can't compensate via the run game. Only 3.3 yards per rush. That's 30th in the league. There's no trouble stopping this defense. Our D-line, with or without the blitz, should get to him. He's going to hold the ball. He only looks at Brandon Cooks. So if we stop him with Trey and bracket him, maybe with Hyde or Poyer, they have nothing else. It's going to be a struggle to see them get 17, even in garbage time.
I mean, the one thing you just try to think is how they've actually managed to win a game.
Let's go look at that game that they won. That really wasn't too bad of a game. That was against Jacksonville, so that kind of tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So we can see how they.
I mean, and that was Tyrod. Tyrod crushed it. Classic Tyrod, 21 to 33 for 291, 2 touchdowns, 112 passer rating. They got enough on the ground from Mark Ingram, 85 yards on 26 carries, and it was all Brandon Cooks, 5 catches, 132. Jacksonville couldn't run. Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions, so we're better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think I've just seen who else they play. Who else they faced in their last few games? Can't remember the
I keep
score.
closing the page. I should just keep it open.
Yes, keep it open. Let's
I think
see.
it was Cleveland and Carolina. And Carolina is a ugly 3-0 because they also haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
They lost to Cleveland by 10, and I think that we have a better offense than them. So, I mean, in the first full Davis Mills game, they scored 9 against Carolina, and our defense is better than Carolina's.
Yeah.
So
And then,
if we're going to look at that again, we might pitch another shot.
well, I mean, it's good. I mean, again, I know it's a weakened, it's a weak team they were playing, but I guess if you try and swing it a little bit, you're thinking having these weaker games gives you a little bit more confidence that you can start actually ironing out those flaws in ready for the upcoming games against the Chiefs and the Titans, because you know that if their offense is sucks, which we know with Davis Mills, that more than likely is going to suck quite badly on there. And outside Brandon Cooks, really, who you've got as your
No, it's a bad offensive
seconds.
line. So their
Yeah.
running backs are old and just not effective. They don't have two receiver. They don't have a tight end. But one thing that I would like to argue against based off what you're saying is this isn't an iron out game. This is still the National Football League.
Oh, yeah.
The Texans run an offense and defense that are very different to Kansas City's. So you have to scheme for what you're playing against. So anything that will work or won't work against Houston has no relevance to what will happen in Kansas City or Tennessee. So this is going to be a game where you do what you do best, or you do what the defense gives you. It's a confidence building game, because if we can throw up another 40, we're going to feel real good going into Kansas City, you know?
Yeah. That's what I mean by it.
But it's not like we can try stuff out for Kansas City against Houston. That's not was that what you were saying, or no?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't implying that we try out that. I mean, iron out any like timing issues.
Yeah, the little things for us. Yeah.
The little things which are going to help regardless who we play. So like getting the timing to Davis a little bit more, getting timing to Diggs, redo the carry on the what was I just talking about? The timing with
play
Sanders,
action, just like the Allen, his inconsistency, which touch versus laser, is just a little nitpicky thing I would have. But
that's sort of stuff.
How's Gabe Davis doing? Is he all right?
He didn't play much. He had one against thing. Had a couple.
Not very many snaps against Washington.
I think it might be in. I know he was on the injury report last week. I don't know if he's on the injury report this week.
I would say take a week, get right, and let's have 4 healthy wide receivers for Kansas City, because I still think we're going to have to put up points versus them.
Yeah, I think the one surprise which kind of makes us nice that we can rest certain wide receivers is the fact that Dawson Knox has started to come into his own a little bit more. It seems like
he's making
the lights have switched on.
Targets, yeah.
And obviously we've got the what you call it? We've got the run game which has started to come back, and I think Moss is actually the main reason, probably the reason why we probably could have won in week 1 against the Steelers. I'm just
they both really challenge each other. I think it's good. Gabe Davis not on the injury report from yesterday.
No.
The only ones, Feliciano limited illness, Hyde limited quad, Taron Johnson limited groin. Everybody else was like a rest. Poyer did not practice from an ankle. So Hyde and Poyer a little bit banged up. We don't know what their practice status is yet for today because of the time difference. So
okay. So I mean it's interesting to see. I mean, it's good that we've got this run game going now. Okay, we're still getting 4 or 5 yards. We haven't had one of our running backs actually go over 100 yards. but we've been in the 60 to 80 range, at least on 1 week for each player. I mean, 62 yards for Moss last week.
It's nearly a top 10 rushing team. 4.3 yards per attempt. That's 11th in the league. So that's very doable.
So we've
on
got
88 attempts, which is 8th in the league. So I mean, we're running a lot more than we would probably be used to. I mean, 8th most rush attempts in the league. Very
and that's without Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's all been the running backs pretty much. So
and as I say, this is why I'm going to revert back to what Angeline said and what I said in my in the review show. The fact that this offense is now starting to regain its 2020 form, and we're seeing players which had a down year. Singletary obviously injured for the majority of it. Moss injured for a few games last year, so didn't really have that.
Moss was more injured than Singletary was.
They didn't have a preseason per se last year, obviously because of COVID. And this year they're starting to reap the benefits, especially the first year rookies, the first year players who have had a benefit of a full practice, full training camp and preseason to get in.
Yeah, Singletary's going 5.1 a clip. That's really good. 60 yards per game on 11 attempts. So I'm very happy with that. Where then, he's between the 20s and Moss comes in the 20s and he bangs through. So, very happy with the run game so far.
And I mean, defense really, can you see any concerns at the moment from these 3 weeks? They're really going to concern us in the Houston game.
I mean, their defense is remarkably below average. 5.9 yards per play, 10th worst in the league. They allow the 9th most first downs. They have the 9th worst net yards per attempt allowed. Average run D, 4.2 yards per attempt. That's 16th. So that plays into exactly what our numbers are. And they allow the big play and the chunk play. So what I was happy with against Washington was getting into a groove. And I think they talked about that in the post-game presser, but we talked about it a lot last year. Short stuff, get completions early, get their confidence up, because then when you play with confidence, you do crazy shit like that first Emmanuel Sanders touchdown. If he's not feeling it, he maybe just runs for 2 yards, Yeah. So I'm very happy with that.
And you're playing into Allen's strengths, which we know from the last 2 years, the short to intermediate game where he's usually accurate and actually gets most of his yardage, which then obviously can then set up for the odd deep ball, which I don't know whether it's a case of him trying a bit too hard again or just not getting enough oomph and air to actually get timed perfectly.
There was a really in the last 2 weeks, he's had 2 really good ones to Sanders. I mean, starting the game last week, 90% completion percentage on and no throws over 10 yards on his first 14, 15 pass attempts. That's how you get into that groove. And then the Texans, unless they do something drastically different, they're going to allow Josh time. They have the second fewest QB pressures with 19. They only blitz. They've only blitzed 17 times in 3 games. That's the 4th lowest. I mean, their average depth of target, I said, was 8.1. That's the 8th worst in the league. So teams attack them deep. And I think that we're going to see, Beasley on slants, Diggs on some in routes. And, once the defense creeps up to stop that 10 yards, that's when you go over the top. And then that's when you hit the home runs. I mean, I can't imagine anything other than 42-17 Buffalo,
Okay.
But because I said that, it's going to be 21-20.
But you think they're going to get 17 points? You think this Houston team is going to get 17 points?
Yeah, I think Singletary fumbles and the Texans are given a short field. They could, have a fluky kickoff return that gives them chunk yards in a short field. They could kick 5 field goals, whatever. I mean, they're playing in
There's nothing on our defense that you're
so tough. You're right. I mean, there's nothing on our defense that shows that they should be able to put up points. Our defense dominate them, but it's so hard to pitch a shutout all game. Either you have to be dominant and want the 0, or the other team just has to give up, And that's what Miami did, essentially. That's what it felt like. But yeah, I mean, I'll give them 17 because that's kind of like league average, So
to be honest, I can't see anything. I can't see anything on this from that offense that's going to worry our defense. I think our pass rush is going to force more errors than I think you can imagine. And obviously, Edmonds and Milano are going to sweep up in the middle. They've got no tight ends to dump down to, or no decent ones on there. I mean, behind Brandon Cooks, you've got Danny Amendola, who did not practice this week. Andre Roberts is a third string wide receiver. Chris Conley.
We know that's bad. So
yeah, and
who are their targets? Looking at their target share, my God, target share.
Go on then.
They have 85 pass attempts on the season. 32 of them have been to Brandon Cooks. No other player on this team has more than 10 targets. So it's going to be throwing it to Brandon Cooks all game. I mean, Jordan Akins, the tight end, has 9. The running back, David Johnson, has 6. Amendola has 6. Some guy named Pharaoh Brown has 6. So they just have a bunch of guys.
I think this is going to be. I know Mark Ingram still is a running back that's declining a bit, but you can still occasionally have the odd game and still is a decent running back. Not all right.
No, 3.2 yards per attempt.
Still, what are we giving up this year? What are we getting up to Harrison thing this year? What's been our
run defense?
Yeah.
Najee Harris didn't do anything because the Steelers have the worst run offense in the league. So that's a name, but yeah, we've given up 224 yards on the ground. That's 7th best. We've given up 3.4 yards per attempt. That is 7th best. So we have a top 10 run defense.
So, and as I say, I know Ingram's not your top 15 thing, but he's still a serviceable starter in most teams, or probably
if you want 3 yards
on there.
If you want 3 yards per attempt, which you don't.
But he's still back in the heyday. He was when he was especially with the Saints. He was a good running back. He probably still has some of that. It's just who he's playing behind. Really,
god awful offense.
But even still, I think this still will be a good test for this defensive line, because if we can
I'm confused by what you're saying. You just said you don't see how they're going to challenge us, and now you're giving it a reason for them to challenge us. Pick a lane, bro.
No. I didn't say it like that.
Well, it sounds like you're. I mean, look, I don't want to be.
No,
I don't want to be the Patriots. Okay, I don't want to be an asshole fan who, now that your team is good, you shut down everybody, right? I don't want to do that, but it's so hard to just not respect this Houston team. The fact that you're giving them respect right now a little bit, and I'm not here for that. And I don't think they deserve any of it. The way they've organized their team, the way they've handled their players, I think it's disgusting. And, I feel for their fans, but I don't feel for anybody in that organization. I'm not about to give them any respect.
Okay, but the only thing I'm saying is that it just gives another way just to firm up this defensive line. That's what I'm trying. I probably don't articulate it well, and everyone knows this. Listen to the show.
I'm sorry to pick on you. I don't mean to. I don't mean to do that, but
no,
I like that point that you're making, though, because if we can keep Mark Ingram to 3 yards per carry, we're going to feel really good about ourselves, because keeping anybody to 3 yards per carry is really good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even see the Houston getting even double figures.
There we go. Give me more of that confidence.
I think in anything, I think I'm going for a big one. I'm going for.
Okay.
I think they may get 9. Houston will get 9 through field
Okay.
goals. I'll give them that. So I think
Not
we
a
may
touchdown
give
and
them
a
a few
safety?
plays. Not a touchdown, not a safety or anything like that.
1 touchdown, 2 field goals. 1 touchdown, 1 field goal. Sorry.
Not even that.
No touchdowns. All right.
No touchdowns. No touchdowns. And Bills, what did we get last week? We got 45 last week, didn't we?
43.
43. That's that. I think we're going to hit the same. I think we're going to hit 43, 45. I think we could be close to 50 this week with this offense and that defense and the way we've come together as a unit and got that 2020 offense back and the improvement on this bring back the 2019 defense with the added pass rush on there. It's going to get more pressure. Davis Mills is actually going to be really up against it. I'm going to see see a fair few fumbles and interceptions, incompletes, and all that, decent field positions. I'm even going ahead and saying like it's going to be like 47, 48, 9.
So you want to see Mitch Trubisky play the whole 4th quarter?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, give me some of that.
If we get up really high and there's no chance of Houston even getting anything out of it.
Let's say it's 30-6 after the 3rd quarter. Josh is out, right?
Yeah.
The whole starting offense is out.
Unless he's close to winning me a fantasy game, then yeah, I'll keep him in.
If you want to spend 20 more minutes, we could talk about how you need to trade me Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay. I need to sort a few things out in my fancy, but
that's what I mean. Let me help you out.
Yeah, help you out, help me out. Give me your first round. Oh wait, no, you fucked up your first round in your last draft, didn't you?
Hey, I'm 2-1, so whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway.
Yes. So that's your prediction, my prediction. I mean, if you've listened to Buffalo from Far, and then Charlie and Tim, they do betting odds and actually look at all the bets. So definitely, if you listen to this, listen to them when they put theirs out tomorrow, I think. And I think Tim won a bet. I think Zach Moss to score 2 touchdowns went 150 to 1.
And he
put a pound on it. He got 151 quid back on that.
It was a good day. Yeah.
So
take their betting tips. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And obviously keep going down. Fitzrover Bell. This week again, they set aside an area in a pub for Bills fans. I know Charlie went last week. I know obviously we're going to be down there on the 7th of November. Make sure you come down. You going to try and get there beforehand?
I did say I was going to try and make it for this game, but plans have changed. We were going to have a friend of ours come visit, but she's not able to now, so I'm not going to be in London this week. I'm actually taking some time. I'm going to spend most of next week in Venice, actually. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it because we fly out Monday morning. So.
Okay, so but still get down there. I know.
I really want to go. I really dying to go. I know definitely not going to make it for the primetime games because they're not going to be showing those. But
no, they only show the 6 p.m., 9 p.m. games, whether it's on Sky or Game Pass. Head down there. The guys down there are.
Jesus, we don't have. The next Sunday game is October 31st. My God, ugh.
That's a 5 p.m. one as well. So it's
well, maybe I'll try and make it for that.
But yeah, no, the guys down there are great. We have a lot. They're really enthusiastic. Really want to actually promote. They do a lot of good stuff down there. Reserve spot. We've got our spot booked for the 7th of November. It'll be at their sister venue, the Moortown Bell, which is more of your traditional sports bar. So we've got pool tables, all that sort of stuff, a big area planned for us, and hopefully a few extra treats and surprises on the day. I know you want to work on some of that stuff, and we're going to have a discussion off camera.
Yep.
Episode, so we're not to give anything away.
Nope.
But continue to follow us on social media at UK_Bills, at RWBB_podcast, Buffalo Bills UK on Facebook, on YouTube, including our interview, or my interview with Hannah Wilkes, which is a great interview, a great video, and something definitely to watch. UK_Bills on Instagram. Follow Charlie and Tim on Buffalo from Afar podcast. And if you've got anything else to add.
Lovie Smith has an elite beard, and I just hope we don't get too distracted by that on this Sunday.
Well, and on that bombshell, it's time to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Continue to hit the like, the follow, and the subscribe button. Spread the word, build the brand. And for Alex, this is Matt saying, let's go Buffalo Bills.
Go Bills.